Good evening and welcome back to another episode of Belonging. Today we are going to be continuing to read the Iliad by Homer. So, let's get going. Now on the fleet the tides of Trojans drove, fierce to fulfill the stern decrees of Jove, the sire of gods confirming Thetis' prayer, the Grecian ardour quenched in deep despair. But lifts to glory Troy's prevailing bands, swells all their hearts and strengthens all their hands. On Ida's top he waits with longing eyes, to view the navy blazing to the skies. Then, nor till then, the scale of war shall turn, the Trojans fly and conquered Ilion burn. These fates revolved in his almighty mind, he raises Hector to the work designed, bids him with more than mortal fury glow, and drives him like a lightning on the foe. So Mars, when human crimes for vengeance call, shakes his huge javelin, and whole armies fall. Not with more rage a conflagration rolls, wraps the vast mountains, and involves the poles. He foams with wrath beneath his gloomy brow, like fiery meteors his red eyeballs glow. The radiant helmet on his temple burns, waves when he nods, and lightens as he turns. For Jove his splendour round the chief had thrown, and cast the blaze of both the hosts on one. Unhappy glories, for his fate was near, due to stern Pallas and Pelides' spear. Yet Jove deferred the death he was to pay, and gave what fate allowed the honours of a day. Now all on fire for flame his breast, his eyes burn at each foe and single every prize. Still at the closest ranks the thickest fight, he points his ardour and exerts his might. The Grecian phalanx, moveless as a tower, on all sides battered yet resists his power. So some tall rock o'erhangs the hoary main, 241, by winds assailed, by billows beat in vain. Unmoved it hears above the tempest blow, and sees the watery mountains break below. Girt in surrounding flames he seems to fall, like fire from Jove, and bursts upon them all. Bursts as a wave that from the cloud impends, and, swelled with tempests, on the ship descends. White are the decks with foam, the winds aloud howl o'er the masts and sing through every shroud. Pale, trembling, tired, the sailors freeze with fears, and instant death on every wave appears. So pale the Greeks, the eyes of Hector beat. The chief so thunders, and so shakes the fleet, as when a lion rushing from his den amidst the plain of some wide-watered fen, where numerous oxen as at ease they feed, at large expatiate o'er the ranker mead. Leaps on the herds before the herdsman's eyes, the trembling herdsman far too distant flies. Some lordly bull, the rest dispersed and fled, he singles out, arrests, and lays him dead. Thus from the rage of Jove-like Hector flew all Greece in heaps, but one he seized and slew. Mycenaean Periphes, a mighty name, in wisdom great, in arms well known to fame. The minister of stern Eurystheus' ire, against Alcides, Copreus was his sire. The son redeemed the honours of the race, a son as generous as the sire was base. O'er all his country's youth conspicuous far, in every virtue, or of peace or war. But doomed to Hector's stronger force to yield, against the margin of his ample shield. He struck his hasty foot, his heels upsprung, supine he fell, his brazen helmet rung. On the fallen chief the invading Trojan pressed, and plunged the pointed javelin in his breast. His circling friends who strove to guard too late, the unhappy hero fled or shared his fate. Chased from the foremost line the Grecian train, now man the next receding toward the main. Wedged in one body at the tents they stand, walled round with sterns a gloomy desperate band. Now manly shame forbids the inglorious flight, now fear itself confines them to the fight. Man courage breathes in man, but Nestor most, the sage preserver of the Grecian host, exhorts adjures to guard these utmost shores, and by their parents, by themselves implores. O friends, be men, your generous breasts inflame, with mutual honour and with mutual shame. Think of your hopes, your fortunes, all the care, your wives, your infants, and your parents' share. Think of each living father's reverend head, think of each ancestor with glory dead. Absent by me they speak, by me they sue, they ask their safety and their fame from you. The gods their fates on this one action lay, and all are lost if you desert the day. He spoke, and round him breathed heroic fires. Minerva seconds what the sage inspires. The mist of darkness Jove around them threw, she cleared, restoring all the war to view. A sudden ray shot beaming o'er the plain, and showed the shores, the navy, and the main. Hector they saw, and all who fly or fight, the scene wide opening to the blaze of light. First of the field great Ajax strikes their eyes, his port majestic and his ample size. A ponderous mace with studs of iron crowned, full 20 cubits long he swings around. Nor fights like others fixed to certain stands, but looks a moving tower above the bands. High on the decks with vast gigantic stride, the godlike hero stalks from side to side. So when a horseman from the watery mead, skilled in the manage of the bounding steed, drives 4 fair coursers practised to obey, to some great city through the public way, safe in his art as side by side they run, he shifts his seat, and vaults from one to one. And now to this, and now to that he flies, admiring numbers follow with their eyes. From ship to ship thus Ajax swiftly flew, no less the wonder of the warring crew. As furious Hector thundered threats aloud, and rushed enraged before the Trojan crowd. Then swift invades the ships whose beaky prows lay ranked contiguous on the bending shores. So the strong eagle from his airy height, who marks the swan's or crane's embodied flight, stoops down impetuous while they light for food, and stooping darkens with his wings the flood. Jove leads him on with his almighty hand, and breathes fierce spirits in his following band. The warring nations meet, the battle roars, thick beats the combat on the sounding prores. Thou wouldst have thought, so furious was their fire, no force could tame them, and no toil could tire, as if new vigour from new fights they won, and the long battle was but then begun. Greece yet unconquered kept alive the war, secure of death, confiding in despair. Troy in proud hopes already viewed the main, bright with a blaze, and red with heroes slain. Like strength is felt from hope and from despair, and each contends as his were all the war. And with that we come to the end of the episode. So I will say my usual thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you all have a wonderful one of it, and as always we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.